how are you all doing? So, welcome back. And now I will discuss about the coming new moon that will happen on January 24, 2020. And this new moon, after a very significant full moon that we just had. So this new moon is going to be an end of a cycle. So let me let me see how this new cycle is going to start and how this is going to affect our life. So what we can see here in this chart, this is our planetary position, all the planetary positions that will be that is actually on the exact moment of the new moon. So where I live, the new moon is going to happen in at 2 a.m. in the morning, 2:43 actually. So this is the planetary position for 24th January, 2:43 um uh, sorry, 2:43 p.m. actually. Yeah, so this is not am, I'm sorry. This is the 2:43 p.m. So it means from where I live, the new moon is going to happen when it is daytime. But for the whole world, this time is the same, because where I live it is day, so it is somewhere else in the world it is night. So yeah, I have calculated these planetary positions depending on the uh, my position on the earth. So yeah, let us look into it. What is there in store for us? Here I can see the sun is in Aquarius. So the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, oh no, Mercury, till Mercury. So these planets are in Aquarius. Venus is in Pisces. It's in the 10th house. Mars and Sagittarius. Mars in Sagittarius. Jupiter, Saturn, both in Capricorn. This is very significant. Jupiter and Saturn are both in Capricorn. So the okay, Pluto is also in Capricorn. Okay, the ascendants in Cancer, and it's trine with Venus opposition Jupiter. This is another very significant thing. So let me look through it. Mars is in Sagittarius. Let me look through it, that how this is going to affect the coming cycle. What are the energies of the coming cycle? So it is obvious, as the ascendant is in Cancer, this new moon is going to be full of refined and new emotions. There will be an explosion of pure emotion. And it's like there is a lot of sensitivity and everything. So The tricks will be to find a way not to get overwhelmed by all these emotions. This transaction of energy is going to be very calm and cool, but underneath this calmness, there will be so many emotions hidden. The So I can see Cancer, and the ruler of the Cancer is Moon, and it is a new moon. It's going to be very internal, very organic rhythm. Must and the thing is, this change is inevitable. Have to accept it, and it's going to be very spiritual in nature. The change is going to be very spiritual. Negative energies from the previous cycle will drain away, and pure clean energy is going to come in. The change, as it is a moon sign, Cancer, the water sign, so the change uh, will not be as it appeared to be. So what you can see might not be what is there in reality. The change will come in vast. It's going to be vast, but it's going to be tricky also. um, so the moon is in Aquarius, that's another thing, and the ascendant's in Cancer, the moon is in Aquarius. So the change, as Aquarius is important, and it is also in 8th house. So what I might okay. So what can happen is that the change might have a predefined nature. It is not possible to stop this change, and it's going to be it's more like a macro change, like world politics or world finance. Like, it's going to impact us as a whole. It's going to impact us as a whole. It's going to impact us as a whole. um not like not like individually. Of course, individually we will be affected, but it is not just it's of course we will be affected individually, but it's not just individual. It's going to be a very macro change. So our whole life, our whole world is going to change, and our belief and our trust for one another is going to be tested. And it is possible that we might have a wrong kind of reaction to the change. So if, for example, I can see that the Mars is in Sagittarius, so it means there is a chance of war in the coming cycle. So we might be against the war, or we might react to the war in a way which is not correct. Maybe the war is for the betterment of the entire world. So in other words, moon in Aquarius is a water sign. Moon is emotional. So what might happen is that our reaction to the change is going to be wrong kind of reaction. The 10th house has median Koli, And so it's obvious that this energy that is around the new moon is going to be authoritative, rigid, and assertive. The 10th house is in Pisces, so that's another thing, and the ruler is Neptune. So it will be a great awakening of spirituality and esotericism. But this aspect will also bring instability, and this energy has something to do with the sea. So there is a lot to do with the watery body surrounding us. So there must be something in the sea. The change that is coming has something to do with sea. This new moon will give peace of mind, as the sun is also in Aquarius, so it's going to bring peace. It's going to give us great concentration and persistence to fight. And and these energies might affect our financial institution as a whole. um, so our social values might be affected. It might change also. So new sense of responsibility is going to flood in. The moon is also in the 8th house of Aquarius. So security is very important. So in the coming cycle, there is a chance that the security, either it's a personal security or national security, security will be of great importance. It will come in our discussion, in our everyday life. Security is going to be important. Mercury is in the 9th house of Aquarius. So yeah, again it's going to affect our spirituality. We can see a lot of planetary positions that directly affects the spirituality of human life. So this new moon is going to bring a new form of belief, a new, it's going to change our old way of seeing the reality. Venus is in Pisces, so 10th house. So humanity, relationship, compassion, these will be of great importance. It will affect the future of finance and economy of this world. So that's another thing. Mars is in Sagittarius and it's in 6th house. So this is another aspect. As I said, Mars is in 6th house. So this is another aspect. There is a possibility of war, and is there going to be an explosion of pure energy everywhere. So this great awakening that is going to happen. Also a very important thing, that Mars, it squares with Venus and Neptune. So the change that is going to come will bring good for mankind. Jupiter is in 7th house, so this new moon will bring happiness. Uranus is in 11th house. That means that the change is inevitable. No one can stop this change. Pluto in Capricorn in 7th house. Pluto is a very important planet. So it deals with justice. So justice will be served. Everyone will get what they deserve. North Node is in Cancer and 12th house. So there is a chance of love or lack of love. I mean the humane aspect of our life is going to be it's going to be very important. So there is a chance of love or lack of love, whatever the reason is. Love is going to be important in the coming cycle. Lilith is in Pisces, so there is a possibility of death, and death in sea, there is a possibility of a huge number of death that has to do with water. But as Siren is in Aries, I can say that this is not a bad thing. It has nothing to do with death of human. There can be any type of death, like an end, and this end has to do something with water. So, and Chiron is in Aries, so there is a chance that this fracture, this change will ultimately um, bring good for mankind. So this change that is going to come will bring good to mankind. So in conclusion, I can say that the new moon that is going to come on 24th January will end the old cycle. So all old energies will drain out, and clean, pure energy is going to surge in, energy that will bring happiness and change. In a very macro aspect, it's not individual life is going to be affected only, our entire perspective is going to change, and it will be a great awakening of our spiritual life. So those of you who are suffering from our old cycle, in the old cycle there was a lot of blockage of energy. Those of you who are suffering from having from having stuck in a position for a long time, you're thinking that there is no chance of progress, that your life is stuck, this new moon will bring change, take out all the blockage, and this surge of energy is going to give you a new path to walk on. um, it will also change your perspective of reality, and it's going to give you a whole fresh view of the world. So this new moon is going to be wonderful. It's going to bring happiness and good for mankind as a whole. But this happiness and good will come through struggle. So yeah, that is all for the new cycle that will begin at 24th January this year. I hope this brings happiness for you. Thank you and have a great life.